YouTube people, we thought we'd shoot a really quick epilogue just to see what happens when you load the game up and offer some thoughts. You know, it was either the pharmaceutical industry or it was the U.S. government. Probably it was the U.S. government doing some kind of, you know, crazy... It leaked from the lab. And they made it, and it's only in certain places. Because remember, they're like, Montana's completely clear. And so it's only in certain places, and it's really bad where it's at. That can be just one theory, but I'm sure the fourth wall thing is a metaphor. This is going to be a really short episode, and it's going to lead into the next playthrough that we do, though. Which will be solo, so we can get the last achievements out of this. And give some final thoughts and recollections on doing this twice and what it offers going forward for State of Decay 3. My personal take on it, State of Decay 3 is going to be like Halo Infinite. They're obviously going to do, I would say, like they've done with the first two games, a ton of updates, a ton of patches, and it's just going to have a really long life cycle, and a sequel may not come for who knows how long. Especially with the way the Xbox family of products are working, and they're just doing, you know, you don't have, like, if you have an Xbox One, you'll be able to play Series X games. It's like PC now. You just have, you're on the low specs. So what we're going to do, real quick, in this epilogue, might not even be 15 minutes, just offering some initial thoughts of the first beat, and we're going to test something out. Where are our vans? That doesn't help things. Our vans are gone. So this may have been a mistake from moment one. Oh, there's one. Where's the other one? Where's the other Vandito? It's only one.
Where are you?
Where's the other Vandito? Okay, Tucker, since you're in here, get in the truck with me. We're just gonna go do something really stupid just to see what happens, because the save is obviously gonna now disappear. Tucker, go ahead and tell the stream what you thought of Heartlands.
I liked Heartland. It was way more. You were able to do way more things since the injuries and the things where you got tired is way slower. And also, I'm happy that we managed to actually beat this one.
What do you think of the story? What do you think that meant, that everything's gonna change once everyone sees what they found inside that wall?
Maybe it was probably the source of the plague.
That bomb?
It might have been some sort of weird
There's your van.
virus inside of it.
What did the computer say? Thank you for your cooperation in this matter.
Yeah, maybe it was some sort of test by the government to see how the survivors would do it.
That's true. It's all a simulation. It's all a parallel dimension. We were able to go in, Hearn, but it's kind of weird and buggy, and our van's moved.
Help! Help!
Just drive. Just drive.
Hang on.
So, we're just gonna go test something, Hearn, real quick. Whoops. And, then we're gonna call it quits as a sort of epilogue. So like I said, I'm gonna beat this one more time on my own as a solo player.
Man, you can't appreciate that.
Now that we know what we're doing.
Yeah, and talk more about the story and see all the see both characters bring it to a conclusion. Still going strong, I see. I'll drop that SoD tomorrow. I can do it on my phone. Well, thanks, Ashton. Man, I'm just happy you're here. I'm just grateful you're here, man. I appreciate it. Please check out Ashton. He's a good dude. He's been playing Rogue Company off stream, but he's gonna be back soon, I'm sure. He's a hard-working guy. He's a Marine. He's funny. He's got a good dry, funny wit. He's really good at team-based, tactical-based shooters. He's a good dude. You should check out his Twitch. Join his community. We just got done beating Heartland Ashton. We were offering a brief epilogue because what we wanted to do, Tucker, we're gonna go do what we were gonna do earlier. We're gonna drive all the way up here.
Oh, you squished that guy on the right.
Okay, let's go.
And
Let's drive. It's gonna be the last thing we do tonight. It's a short episode, offering our thoughts. So, you think, Tucker, it was an experiment by the U.S. government?
yes, because it looked like some sort of square container that was holding the virus, and the government put it there to see how to maybe make some sort of see what would happen to the people inside of the town, and to see who would survive and who would die.
So maybe the government didn't start the zombie apocalypse, but they tried to cure the zombie apocalypse, and attempting to cure the zombie apocalypse, they made it much worse and made the blood plague.
Maybe.
But of course, thank you for your cooperation in this experiment. We see her, she's on that laptop. Dr. Hoffman's in there, she's safe. She's cranking out code, enhance. And there were markers on like Ohio, on Texas, on California, Seattle,
Not Ohio!
major metropolitan areas. Who else could it be besides the government, sucker?
Maybe terrorists?
Terrorists, possible. So we got 3 main groups though that exist in like the State of Decay lore. Mostly generated after the apocalypse though, and that's the Network, which is like a civilian agency that go around trying to save people and bring people in and teach you how to survive. Got Red Talon, which is some kind of like paramilitary, private military corporation who claims to be what's left of the US military that decided not to retreat. And the aliens, it had to be aliens. And then you have the, well, Dr. Hoffman's group, which would be, gotta be what's left of the actual military, which is all like scientists and stuff.
Because the people on the front lines, people say that the military got completely wiped out.
Yes. You can't even get in this. I thought it was gonna be a plague wall. Okay, don't worry about. Yeah, right. So there was military set up, but the Dr. Hoffman's group and the notes say that all the military wanted to do was get scientists and VIPs, which ties into Lifeline. Lifeline, you always make that decision between being more like the Network, getting civilians, or getting military VIPs. Call me nah. Cleo did it. Is Cleo a person though? Oh, like the AI did it? Ooh, I like that twist. If that's what you're saying, her, and like the AI itself did it as a sort of, I was instructed to save humanity, and humanity was a danger to itself, so we have to restart like Mother. Didn't this have a health bar, Tucker?
No, I don't think so.
This didn't have a health bar?
I don't know. I don't think so. I need to do a plague cure real quick. Oh, I don't have any cures. Do you have any cures on you?
That's weird that you don't have a cure. Didn't I just give you 3?
Remember.
I think it took a lot of stuff when we reloaded the save, which is super weird because we beat it. You definitely can't get back there. In fact, I just made a terrible mistake even going back there. It is what I'm saying, dude. That would be pretty good. The AI did it. Mrs. Cleo, the telephone witch. We actually have Mrs. Cleo in our group right now, Ashton. So, State of Decay, Lifeline, like I said, you're either military targets or civilians like the Network. Alright, we need to try to find if there's any more walls. I could have swore this was a wall. Was there any other place, Tucker, where there seemed to be a wall at? We'll go over here.
Is there any on the map?
It doesn't show them like that. I don't know. Because there's literally an achievement for killing 100 walls, so you'd think there'd be more. And I want to see if there's another one just to see if we can get just a little bit more lore. So Dr. Hoffman's group is probably the real military. Red Talon is definitely some paramilitary militia, you know.
That just got there.
Yeah, just like is throughout the United States on both sides of the political spectrum. You have a bunch of paramilitary people who carry ARs and, you know, they're ready, I guess. And then you have what's left of the real military, which is basically just scientists and some leftover soldiers still trying to protect the scientists, which makes sense. Then the Network, again, the more civilian group. And you go to State of Decay 1 in Lifeline, you extract a bunch of samples with Sasquatch. And then there's 3 separate endings, and you're in, like, what basically seems like Pittsburgh. Wilkerson's, there's not a wall. We need to go to this marker. I just want to check this last marker. If there's no plague walls, then that's our epilogue. I like the AI one. Cleo was doing the drops from the start, was ready day 1. How Cleo did it. It sounds good. It sounds very possible. But part of me likes to think that this thing broke out. This is my preferred theory. This thing broke out spontaneously. That's why State of Decay sticks to the, like, George A. Romero style zombie lore. And can we really not bust this? Like, I was hoping there would be one more wall. I can't. How in the hell are we gonna bust 100 walls when they only are like
Maybe
6
just making
total?
multiple saves.
Yeah, but that's a pain in the butt. Anyway, it broke out spontaneously, as like we've seen this pandemic. This would be our current pandemic times 1,000,000. Things fell apart, and then you had, as society very quickly fractured apart, you had these 3 core groups, what was really left of the US government, the military, which apparently the real military that wasn't like grabbing civilians, it wasn't grabbing scientists, it was meant to protect civilians, did run away, and that's why there's so much animosity between the military and civilians now. They say they're cowards, and they don't trust them. Red Talon claims to be the military that actually stood strong. Who knows? But my theory is Cleo's tried to help, and what's left of the U.S. government is instructing Cleo to try to help, but that forces beyond us, Resident Evil style, you know, the shadow government, evil corporation, Enclave Fallout style, created the Blood Plague. They tried to come up with a vaccine, but of course you can't. If something's dead, you're not going to cure it from being dead. You're just dead. And so it's like, you know, dead things should stay dead, or kids
You'll
shouldn't play
never
with
be
dead
able
things.
You'll never be able to bring back the dead.
Right. So, like, but they tried, and in their attempt, and the attempt is like Tucker's talking about, it's that bomb, and there's a vial and a virus in there. In their attempt, they just made it like 100 times worse. It came in, and the dead things became like sort of undead times 2, re-deaded. This must be it. So there's just those 4 plague walls. And that's weird, because in the trailer, like, you're hacking out of it. Okay, Tucker, we're gonna go one last place. We'll drive on the road. Offer your preferred theory on the... How do you think this all happened? What do you think it all means? And then we'll get off here.
Maybe...
Your preferred theory from moment 1. How did this all start, and what's now happening? How did the zombies rise from the dead, you think?
Maybe the president's wife died and he got really depressed, so he tried desperately to find a way to bring his wife back, but he forced the scientists to test it on different states and towns to see if each experiment will work. And of course, the town that they tried it on, which is the town that our characters play in, was a failure. They started to rise from the dead, and the president sent the military in there to try and get rid of them. But military got somewhat overrun. But
yeah, you're doing good.
Well, some tried to stay, but got turned into zombies. Hey, Turok, wait, I'm out of fuel. My things.
That's cool. That's cool. Let's just stop here by the courthouse. I actually really like your idea. It's like, I don't know that it's going to tie into the State of Decay lore. I don't know that it's going to tie into the State of Decay lore, but I really like the idea. I'm going to have to watch lore and State of Decay videos.
Watch.
So we were just talking about that, Ashton, actually last night. Another thing we were talking about last night, in that because State of Decay being kind of a cult game and a small game, like, you know, you want lore and it's Overwatch, here's 50,000 videos. Fallout, here's 50,000 videos. Huge community. State of Decay being a small dev team, owned by Microsoft now, granted. Smaller community. You just don't really have that content out there yet, unfortunately. That's why in the Day 99 community, Ashton, I've been trying to collect all the notes, because when you search on dead bodies...
Watch out!
Are you refueling?
Yeah, I was refilling.
Okay, I actually have one last area we can go to bring the idea forward. Alright, you refuel and then get with me. We're going to go to one last place, and this really is going to be the end of our night here. You can collect notes, and they've added more and more notes throughout, as they've obviously supported this game a ton over the last 2 years. And you get notes from the network, from Red Talon mercenaries, and then you just get like random survivor notes, and some of them just, you know, are just random, like call mom or grocery list, like life before the outbreak. But some of them clearly tie into the deeper lore of the game and the story behind it. Now, some parts too, Ashton, you have to take in mind that they took the State of Decay 1 lore and they retroconned it or whatever, retconned, whatever you say. Because it used to be, they were already... The vanilla State of Decay experience had it was only single player, and it was focused on, and it was only the campaign, and it had pretty much a set story already about like how the water had gone bad and caused the Black Plague or something, Black Fever. But I'm pretty sure they got rid of all of that. There's only very, very few parts of the State of Decay 1 lore that still exist, as far as I know. Because they brought in a new writer and stuff. But anyway, so my hope is on the Day 99 community we can like collect all of the notes as far as we can and maybe piece together some of the more of the lore as our community. Our community can patch together. We can do the lore videos that I don't know that they exist yet. So maybe in that way the Day 99 community can be a lore video.
But
Thank you
hey,
for those.
that's just a theory, a film theory, and cut.
Yes. Doctor, we need to go where we first found Dr. Hoffman. That's where I want to go. Do you remember where that was?
I think it was just in an old barn that said that she said she was safe in.
I think it was over here. I guess not the very first time. I'm gonna have to watch the. I started playing the first one. I couldn't get into it, but live at home. You guys make the living dead. Oh, love watching. Deader. You guys make the living dead deader. But I mean, hey, that kind of sounds like Resident Evil style, right? You know, they were like, already they're zombies, and that's just totally screwed up. But then, in the attempt to bring the dead back to life and cure them, it only became so much worse. Now they're really, which I think happens in Reanimator or the Peter Jackson one. I think it's called Dead Alive. I have the DVD. It's a good zombie flick. Okay, we'll get out here. We'll look at these last notes, Tucker, and we're done. It's the same idea. Like, I think in Reanimator especially, they keep injecting them with the Reanimator serum, and they get like worse and worse and worse. Kish, yo, where's Will so out? Tucker, make sure your mic's next to your mouth. I'm picking myself up. This fool just drops gems with music and dips. Please mute for a sec, Tucker.
Okay.
I like the idea that no one knows what really happened. It's more believable. I agree with you, Hernan. That's one of the best things about the George A. Romero stuff. Like, I hope they explain what's going on with the blood plague and how this world works. But one of the best things about George A. Romero's movies and world is that he never had an explanation. Because it almost ruins it. You don't really need an explanation for the zombies, do you? And like you said, it makes it all the more kind of creepy. We're pretty sure we found her here. We're trying to look for the place that we first found a second time we saw Dr. Hoffman. I know it was like around here. Because there are some notes. And these notes is what I'm going to use to show the lore for what it is. I bet there would be little to no communication on what is going on before it happened and people just got caught off guard. I would say so, man. Just exactly like Night of the Living Dead, where it starts and she's like in the cemetery and she gets, you know, caught. Everybody gets caught. And it's like also the Fear of the Walking Dead did a really good job with that. How like people just don't believe it. It's this thing you hear and it sounds way too crazy and stupid and nobody. It's like the pandemic. Oh, it's not real. There's no COVID. And people are doing it now and it's actually happening. So I think Fear the Walking Dead is scary. Oh, the bodies are gone. Is scary accurate in the sense that probably no one's gonna. And I wouldn't blame them for not believing that the dead are returning to life. You know that breaks the law of conservation of energy. It can't happen. It's impossible. It goes against everything we know in biology and sciences. I guess that's it. Okay, Tucker, unmute and give your closing thoughts on Heartland. What do you give it out of 10?
I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
What did you like? What did you not like?
What I liked about it was I liked that if you get, as soon as you get bit, you have to get a cure or else you're dead. Sometimes permadeath can be a blessing, and sometimes permadeath can be fun to think about, and sometimes it can be scary to think about. And then another good thing about it is that there's a wide variety of weapons and bullets. The menu system isn't too complicated. And I like how you grow your base. You grow your base, grab different survivors, and over time, when you use your survivors, they gain levels on certain things. Like, you know how you always in State of Decay 2, you always told me to shut the gates and stay inside the base and run around to get my cardio all the way up to 5 stars, and then I could rebirth
Yeah.
the cardio and then get it back up to 5 stars again.
Uh-huh.
It was like that. So there was some... And that actually would work in real life too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, kind of. It'd take days, but yeah. Ooh, Echo Revolver. We found it.
Got no room for that.
But the bad things about it is that it still has quite a few glitches. And, I think the, Juggernauts seem a little too easy. Don't you think so?
Well, with the 50 cal, yeah. Tucker, I need you to do something for me. We're actually doing one last thing. This Echo Revolver is really good, and I need to get it in the Day 99 world we talked about, where we make the lore videos. So,
alright, I got this. I got this.
We'll bring it to your locker, and then we'll quit. Do our Banditos have gas? So, like, so what's the last thing you didn't like that knocks... Actually, hold on. Let me read. I bet, Mute mic for a sec, please. Creeping horror is enhanced by the lack of answers. I agree, and I think that's well said, Hearn. One of the characters brought up something interesting. So since zombies exist, do you think there's werewolves and vampires also? I hope there isn't, though. I just like this as a zombie game. That was a fail. But yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible idea.
This thing's about to break.
And you're right, it is interesting. For me, you had 3 hours before you... Heartland gets a 5 out of 10 for me. For me, it was you had 3 hours before you turn versus the 10 minutes you get Nightmare. Yeah, I love the 10 minutes of Nightmare, and like I said earlier in the stream, Kish, what I really hope we get going forward for the... as we're going into State of Decay 3 territory, another fail, is that we get... it's Vandito's head back to base. We get sandbox options, like Project Zomboid. I want to make it so you can't have... There's no cure for the Blood Plague, and 2 or 3 bites infects you, and the zombie spawns are way up, but the freaks are decreased. In order for us content creators and just players to continue to enjoy the game while we wait for State of Decay 3, since it's only in pre-production, I hope they give us some stuff to play around with. And I think that they will. I honestly do think they will. I guess we're just going to have to run. This save's over anyways. I like how in State of Decay 3, the trailer, deer is eating the wolf, total reverse of predator or prey. That's a good point, Kish. And, like, the girl scares the wolf off. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. That's a good point. Obviously, State of Decay and Undead Labs love to do the whole metaphor thing. So, it would make sense, like, we're going on the hunt, because the end of Heartland, which I'm sure ties into State of Decay 3, is basically saying, well, what's it say? It says, now we're going to turn the tide in the battle, right? This is it. Whatever we discovered here is what's going to allow us to start taking the world back. And I think it's going to be a live service. Oh my god, I am playing so bad here. Live service game. I think it's going to be the last State of Decay we see for a long time. But I think it's going to be that total zombie reclaiming the world experience that's 1 and 2. You know, you get in microcosm, but you're going to get big time. Big time, and we've got to go down this road. Also snow, absolutely. Snow, dynamic seasons. Not just dynamic weather, dynamic seasons. Make every 30 days in-game or whatever, change to a fall environment, and then a winter, and then a summer, and make that change the way zombies behave and so forth. You can do a lot of things, man. If you can make Blood Plague walls dynamically produce themselves, sort of like Oblivion Gates, but much better, and make scary things come out of that, equivalent to Slither or The Thing. Do some pretty cool shit. Do some really cool shit. Tucker, let's transfer this over and call it. You can unmute now. Since there's animals, you'd probably be able to get a pet. That'd be interesting. I hope you can
Okay, I
hunt for
brought a
food.
military truck.
Cool. All right, put these in your locker so that when the time comes, I can take all these from you.
Holy crap, there's so many. Alright, I'll put these in here.
I'm gonna give you just a couple. I'm just gonna take all the echo weapons because you can only get them in this, and it'd be cool to bring them in the day 99 run since that's gonna be for the whole stream community.
What's the day 99 run about?
It's where we take. Ooh, I'm gonna take this too. It's where we take. You guys will see it on YouTube as well. Nightmare, run a community all the way to day 100, triple digits. YouTube is where we're gonna leave it on this one. That's our little epilogue to the co-op playthrough. I hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna do a solo playthrough as well and call it on Heartland. Thanks.